It's easier to say sectorally right now. So if you look at it, banks have a lot of scope considering that they had very low credit growth for the last 3 years or 4 years. So, and they don't seem to have big NPLs at this point of time or an NPL cycle in the near term. So banks are clearly in a good shape comparatively. Second is auto, which has gone through a very, very big down cycle for the last 4 to 5 years. You have pharma. Between pharma, IT and FMCG, IT has done very well. FMCG is still at elevated valuations relatively. And so pharma looks much more attractive relative to these two sectors at this point of time. PSUs, the government has been very careful in handling PSUs over the last 2 to 3 years. There has been selective re-rating, but there is much more scope for re-rating at this point of time. So I would say that banks, auto, pharma, PSUs represent some of these things. I wouldn't call them value or anything like that. I would rather say these are sectorally areas which look interesting. From a growth-oriented perspective, I would say that people like infrastructure and capital goods because there has been a long down cycle even today. Although the sector doesn't appear cheap, cyclically, they may still do well because there has been a long down cycle. And in my opinion, for people who have very high growth orientation, IT still looks okay for people with a growth orientation. And in my reading at this point of time, small and mid caps are something where you have to be very selective on at this point of time. So you have to choose the sectors carefully at this point of time. This is how we look at it from a sector point of view.